Most of us are surrounded by constant noise and distraction. It's just the world we live in. But have you ever noticed that some of the sharpest, most insightful people you know, they seem to actively seek out something else, something a lot rarer, meaningful silence. Let's dive into the hidden strengths that come from actually embracing the quiet.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? We're going to flip the script on silence. See, it's not some empty void to be afraid of. It's actually the source of some incredibly powerful and, honestly, widely misunderstood human traits. It's a kind of strength that most people just completely miss.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going on a little three-part journey. First, we're going to explore that rich inner world that gets built in silence. Then we'll talk about how you actually protect that world. And finally, we're going to reveal the quiet advantages this all gives you in a very, very loud world. Okay, let's start with the absolute foundation of all this. For people who get it, silence isn't an absence of something. It's the presence of everything. It's not empty space. It's a destination. It's where the mind goes to actually get work done. And that gets us to this idea of fertile ground. Silence isn't passive, not at all. It is an active state where the brain can finally do its deepest work, connecting ideas, nurturing them from these fragile little sparks into fully formed concepts. And this, right here, just perfectly illustrates the difference. A mind that's constantly flooded with noise is basically stuck in reactive mode, just bouncing from one thing to the next. But a mind that cultivates quiet, well, it can go way beyond the surface. It can become focused, analytical, and start making those deep connections that lead to real, genuine breakthroughs.
And think about this for a second. So many people use noise to drown out their own thoughts, right? To be truly comfortable alone with your mind without needing some external distraction to feel okay, that's a sign of a scary level of self-control. This isn't just about daydreaming. This is the foundation for making choices based on what you actually believe, not just what's popular.
So what is actually happening in there? Well, it's a total hive of activity. They're building these complex mental models of the world. They're connecting dots that everyone else misses. They're thinking through the second and third order consequences of a decision. They might even be replaying conversations, not out of anxiety, but to really get the subtext and understand what was truly being said. So if you've got this incredible, rich inner world, what's the next logical step? You've got to protect it. And this doesn't happen by accident. This is a deliberate, conscious strategy of managing your own personal energy. Okay, this phone battery analogy, it is perfect. You wouldn't expect your phone to run all day on a 10-minute charge, would you? Well, people who value silence see their social energy the exact same way. Quiet time isn't being lazy. It's plugging into the charger so you can function at your absolute best. And this becomes a really practical, step-by-step thing. First, you've got to identify what activities and people are the biggest drains on your battery. Then you literally schedule solitude into your calendar, just like you would a meeting. And maybe most importantly, you set the boundaries you need to make sure that recharge time actually happens. This is so important. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude or antisocial. It's about clear communication. It's about learning to say no to things that are going to completely drain you so you can be fully present and give an enthusiastic yes to the things that really matter. And here's the thing that's really crucial. Because they protect their energy so carefully, they don't really do surface-level friendships. They often have fewer friends, sure, but the connections they do have are incredibly deep and meaningful. This translates to leadership, too. It's how you build those small, fiercely loyal teams that can run circles around much bigger ones. Okay, so we've looked at the inner world and how it's protected. Now we get to the payoff. How do all these traits actually translate into a real-world advantage? A quiet superpower, you could call it. First, let's just bust a few myths. What an outsider might see as being slow to respond in a conversation is actually them being considered, processing all the angles before they speak. What looks antisocial is really them just being incredibly observant. And what might seem like they're uninterested, that's actually a deep sense of self-reliance. These are the superpowers. I mean, while everyone else is talking, they're the ones absorbing all the little details, which gives them this incredible edge in any situation. They can accurately read the subtle psychology of a room, a critical skill for any leader. And they don't just jump on meaningless trends because their identity is grounded in their own values, not what other people think. This lets them spot opportunities everyone else is just too distracted to see. So, what happens when you combine all of this? This deep thinking, this protected energy, this profound self-awareness,
What's the ultimate result?
It is pure, unfiltered, creative fuel. All of these traits create the absolute perfect conditions for original thought to flourish, far away from the deafening noise of the crowd.
This is where it all clicks into place. The deep thinking, the energy management, the strong boundaries, they don't just lead to a few random ideas. They create an entire internal system for innovation. It's like they've built this perfect workshop inside their own mind to capture and develop unique insights into something real and truly impactful.
So, as we're wrapping this up, I want you to really think about this for a second. Whether it's the ability to truly observe what's going on, to manage your energy with real discipline, or to be that creative catalyst, which of these quiet strengths do you feel is your greatest asset? And I'll just leave you with this final thought. In a world that is screaming for our attention 24/7, just remember that your biggest advantage, your secret weapon, might just be your ability to listen to yourself. That conversation you have in the quiet, that's the one that truly defines who you are.